Hi everyone, my name is ABHISHIEKH SAXENA and some of you know me as your faculty for civil services examinations. So lately I've been receiving some of the anxious call from my students and otherwise also on my email etc. That since the UPSC has deferred the examination and the uncertainties is still looming over when and how this examination will be conducted in the times to come. So they are worried about what should be their preparation strategy, how can they recover for the lost time, because the mains might be hurried a bit or some more cascadation may happen, so the timelines have gone haywire. So I'm drafting this session for the benefit of all the people who were going to appear for the examination in the May as it was scheduled earlier, and who are thinking of preparing for civil services examination, but due to lockdown and other compulsions due to the COVID scenario, they are not able to start or take off with their preparation. So in the coming few minutes, I'll discuss what is the present situation, what can be your best strategy to draft it. Obviously, you can tweak it according to your own suitableness or how it suits you. So going forward, this is going to be a tentative strategy which I have drafted, keeping in mind the uncertain scenarios which this pandemic has offered. I hope you are all safe at your places of residence and are venturing out only and only for something which is very, very essential. So let us begin. I told you in the introduction, I have been receiving a lot of anxious calls, some emails that sir एग्जाम आगे चला गया है, अब हम मेंस का क्या करें, हम मेंस का भूल ना जाएं, या अगर मेंस और प्री के बीच में जब भी प्री होगा, if there is not much scope or room for preparation, you will not get much time, so how we should go about it. So a lot of questions have been there, a lot of permutations and combinations are being thought about. ऐसा कुछ doomsday नहीं होने वाला. UPSC is an examination which is a very, very prestigious examination, and the government as well as the commission is very, very sensitive towards the calendar and how they should go forward and how they should give the sufficient time to the candidates. But still, there is a lot of room for subjectivity because we still don't know how this pandemic will pan out in the days to come. So exam has been deferred, anxiety is there, students and candidates are confused, but you need not worry. Don't worry. Since I'm here to present a plan of how you can go about it. Of late, I've been seeing a lot of proliferation of online learning and all, but none of them have targeted the how to go about certain examinations which had a very, very predictable timetable earlier, and the scheduling has gone haywire because of the pandemic, right? So you need to keep a positive attitude. So to first analyze what can be done, we need to systematically understand the problem. Okay, so understanding of the problem is very, very important. As you are aware that due to the coronavirus, mass gatherings, examinations, schools, other institutions of learning have been closed, right? And till further notice, to be precise, and there is still no concrete information in sight of when things will get back to normal, or if there will be a new normal, as they say, right? So every examination, right from board examination to university entrance examination to other competitive examination for government services and higher education, they are getting postponed or rescheduled, or some tentative schedules are out, right? So what has UPSC said about it? In its notification, which came out on 4th of May, some days ago, UPSC has said that due to the situation, they are deferring the exam which was earlier scheduled on May the 31st this year. So UPSC is saying that the exam is deferred and they will take a call on further action on May 20th in a meeting. So on 20th May, this very month, there will be a meeting of the commission and commission will take a call on this, and the exam which was scheduled on 31st of this month is not happening on 31st. That is one thing is for sure, right? So the question is when the exam will happen. The commission says that they will take a call on 20th of when and how to go about the process of the examination moving ahead, right? So that is just a part of the understanding. The next point is at the very end of the notification, the commission mentions that as and when dates are decided for the deferred test examination, it will be ensured that the candidates are given a notice of at least 30 days. So what has happened is, due to the virus, because this exam is a pan-India level exam, candidates move from one city to another city to sit for the examination. At times they take coachings or classes somewhere and then they move back to their native places and just come to the cities or the big centers for the examination. So since the public transport is suspended, every other means of transportation is practically non-existent. So they will give sufficient time for people so that they can make their logistical arrangement. So you will have at least 30 days, on the day which commission says that okay, we are going to conduct the exam on X day, right? So you will anyway have a 30-day scenario. So some students were asking me about how to prepare, and we still have 30 days margin. How can we go about it? So let us look at the possible scenarios. Forward is that we need to plan for all these scenarios, right? And we need to keep in mind how we'll tackle if things will change, because things are very, very dynamic at this time due to the virus situation. So let us look at the first scenario. The first scenario is, as I say, no breathing room. By this I mean, let us say on 20th the commission comes up with the announcement that we are conducting the examination very next month, right? So you will hardly have 3 or 4 weeks to as they say 30 days. So you'll have 30 days to go for your prelims examination. So in that you don't have much room to alter your preparation strategy. What you were preparing, what you have prepared for the prelims, you should just polish it more. You should practice more question papers and sit for the examination, right? So that is the idea here. The second thing which I say here is, the second scenario is calculated possibilities. So as we have heard in the news items and the information which is getting circulated, that most of the university entrance exam, pending boards exam are going to happen in July. So assuming till 20th, we can assume at least 20th, there will be some, I hope there will be some way forward which will come from the side of the commission. So till 20th, we can assume that the exams will happen in July, right? And in that scenario, we have a couple of months with us till we go for the examination. So in that, what you can do is you can divide your time month by month. So in the first month, what you can do, say let us assume you study for 10 hours for this examination, and in those 10 hours you can chalk out 1.5 hours or 2 hours or 2.5 hours for the preparation of the mains examination or your optional, and the rest you can keep devoting to the prelims examination. And remember, do it strategically. Strategically, I mean, see, this examination, civil service examination, is a single examination. For our convenience, for convenience of administration, the exam is divided into multiple stages, but this is a single examination. You have topics which are overlapping in general studies for prelims as well as mains. It's just the degree or the manifestations of those topics differ depending upon the nature of the examination, whether it is prelims, that is objective, or whether it is mains, that is subjective, right? But still you have certain topics which are not there in the prelims examination but are asked in mains examination. So those 1.5 2 hours which you are devoting should be concentrated on those topics. For example, ethics, integrity and aptitude, right? For example, world history. Okay, so this is what you should do. The next possible scenario is, I call it making uncertainty certain. See, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding the examinations of how the coming months will pan out, because whatever the commission is giving you as an information at this instant of time is based on what the conditions are right now. The conditions might go better or they might turn worse. So we need to be very vigilant about how we'll tweak our strategy going forward. So making uncertainty certain is, for example, let us say there is no clarity, right? And the commission will any given day will give you 30 days notice to conduct the examination, right? So in that scenario, you can be certain that there might be some sort of squeezing of time frame in the gap between the prelims and the mains examination. So you need to cover for that, right? So for all these possible scenarios, I have drafted this MCQ strategy. Your response due to this changing situation should be very measured, calibrated, and qualitative. By that I mean, like for example, scenario 1, no change, right? You continue what you are doing. Scenario 2, you give a little time for your mains topic. Scenario 3, when this is very far, right? So in that scenario, your question papers which were earlier set for 31st of May might get changed, right? UPSC might frame new question papers. So that will involve some areas which happened in the interim, or some topics or some areas of current affairs which have happened in the interim. For example, in National Disaster Management Act, the Epidemic Act, etc., etc. Right? So you should never lose your touch with current affairs. That means your newspaper is of paramount importance. So what more can be done during this interim? So I have already described how you should be very calibrated, very measured, very qualitative, of how you should divide your time between the prelims and the mains and the topics which you haven't touched. What more can be done is that you can compile the current affairs for the time which you haven't studied yet, right? You can brush up the areas in which you think you lack enough depth. You can revise your notes with some more current information, right? You can fine tune all that stuff while you sit at home, and the uncertainty looms over the date of the final examination, right? Lastly, moving to the end, I would like to say that keep at it, keep your work going, and these things will eventually pass, and you'll be able to give the examination, and I hope you'll come out with flying colors. So as you have just seen, I have presented some possible scenarios and what all can you do to be ahead in the race for this examination. I hope you'll like this video, and please do share, like, and subscribe this video and the channel itself and the rest of the details which are given below. Bye bye, until next time. I'll try and keep posting regular informative stuff regarding the examination, and do suggest me what all you want to learn or what all you want to know in the comment section, so that I can make the videos accordingly, right? Bye bye, take care, stay safe.